Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. Guys, this is my new setup. Fucking crazy. This is not going to be forever. I'm going to change some of this and I don't know, maybe angles or whatever. So I just really wanted to check out this lighting and use it in a video. I feel so legit with a ring light right now. I don't know if you guys like this. Let me know what you think about it. I am going to be putting something here that I've already ordered, so I can't wait for that to come in. It'll be a nice little surprise for you guys. And thank you to the patrons who make all of this possible. I really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone, because I can't believe still there's 10,000 of you guys, and seriously, I could not be more happy. For my 10K kind of celebration, a lot of you guys recommended a Q&A, and I wasn't sure, some people aren't really into Q&As, so I thought I'll just do one anyway, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. But I want to answer the most interesting questions you have, so please leave them down in the comments for this video. I know you guys leave some pretty interesting comments, so I'm pretty sure you can leave some interesting, unique questions. I don't really want to answer something that I've already answered before. It's a bit boring. I don't want to be boring, so help me out there. But today we're here to talk about Tragedy Girls, which is a movie that was released in October of last year, but I have just watched it recently. But it is a film that when I posted about it on Instagram, a lot of you guys were talking about how much fun you had when you watched it. So I wanted to bring it to those attentions who maybe let it drift by or forgot about it or haven't even heard about it. The film is about two girls who have an online blog and social media that is them reporting about tragedies in their local area. But the catch is they want to get the scoop. They want to get the real scoop. They want to get the first-hand scoop. So they get very close to the scenes and maybe commit some crimes, you could say. This film is really interesting because there's so many different layers to it. But the one layer I feel like the director really thought it was important to push through was the fact that we're all desensitized to gore, horror, violence that is real on the internet these days. And through social media, it really puts up like a loss of better words, but a filter to make us feel like that this stuff isn't touchable to us. And it also isn't as real as we think it is. I think that this film plays with that idea in such a clever way because it has a lot of stylization, which is kind of, you know, pop-up emojis, likes, comments, all of that animation style stuff, with also a lot of fast editing and mixed media. And it kind of, in a way, puts up another layer, which is like another filter to the situation. So I thought that was really clever to kind of make a point about that in the movie, but then also have that extra point in the movie that the viewer is seeing. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I thought that what they did was really clever in that way. But the film to its core is actually a friendship tale, and I love movies, especially horror movies that are about friendship and not relationships. I think that they are so much more powerful than any relationship, you know, like soppy horror movie romance. I just think that friendship is just something that horror needs and horror thrives off. So I really enjoyed that aspect in this film. The two lead females in this film actually both worked together before because they traveled together in some like Comic-Con kind of superhero conventions in America. One worked on Deadpool and one was in the new X-Men, I believe. You know, I'm fucking paraphrasing because superhero films is something I don't do. But I love that because they actually had worked together before, and the director said they actually lived together at one time. So their friendship, although it is a huge aspect of the film, it's actually a realistic aspect in real life, and you can really see the performances shine through with that. And I thought that that was really special and something that really made the film, because without that chemistry back and forth, the banter, because that's what keeps the film going, it wouldn't have worked. The film does have its flaws though. I would say that because it is so fast paced, sometimes it takes you a second to grasp onto what the actual idea is or what's actually happening because it is so unreal. I felt like it could have used an extra scene or two at the start to kind of build up to what they were actually doing. It very much grabs you and just kind of pulls you along through the storyline, but in saying that, the arcs, although some of them, the twists and turns are a little bit unexpected, I feel like they are very predictable at the end of the day. The director also said that the film is meant to be like a gateway horror movie. I always want to say gateway horror movie to horror for people who maybe aren't into it and maybe toying with the idea, because the film is very high school, kind of mean girlish. It's meant to actually be more Heathers and Jawbreaker is what the director said, but it is very mean girlish, I don't know, with a twist. It's almost like the new Heathers. Ugh, I don't want to get into that. But it has those aspects, but it's also meant to be for people who are around the same age, maybe people who like Scream Queens and stuff like that. I would relate it to that, to try and get them into horror without, you know, punching them in the face with it, which this film does really punch you in the face. But for us old school horror fans or new school horror fans, it has a lot of homage to horror, and you can see that everywhere, from a kill that looks very similar to a death scene in Cannibal Holocaust, to them holding up the DVD of Martyrs, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and talking about it. So it does do both. It's for new horror fans and for old horror fans, and I really like how they mix that in, and it wasn't actually too jarring. A lot of references in films, sometimes they can be, you know, very in your face, like very Family Guy or The Simpsons, but I thought that this was very clever the way they did it. As I said, the stylization of the film is something that is either a hit or miss with people, and something that you don't really want to take too seriously. The film is just for fun. Don't take it too seriously, but I think the editing is by far like the best aspect of this film, and then obviously the stylization sets it over the edge, but could be a bit too much for some people. The music choices, very creative, very cheesy, like old school slasher, but then also it evolves in a way. And then I guess the more creative aspects, technique-wise, the creative kills, which I think obviously all horror fans will love. So what I'm saying is basically it has something for everybody, as long as you keep a light-hearted approach to the story. Although when you look deeper, the film is pretty twisted, and although it is a comedy, it has the story of friendship, and even deeper in it, it has this meaning that is more about who you are on the inside versus who people actually think you are, which I think is a great aspect that a lot of horror lovers will love. So what I'm saying overall is this is a movie that is fun, but it's also a movie that is dedicated to a lot of horror lovers. And at the end of the day, who just doesn't love a good comedy girl power slasher? I'm gonna give this film a 6 out of 10, just because although I really like how it played with the genre, I just felt like it wasn't personally for me an amazing film. It was just a fun time. But I do recommend it to anyone who likes horror comedies. I definitely think you guys should check it out. It's really fun. For scare score, I'm actually gonna give it a 5 out of 10, because I think that to its core, it's a very evil movie, and it really does play with how desensitized we are to films that we think that this is funny. It's pretty fucked up, actually. And for originality, I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. I think that it was very bending and very creative in its editing, its techniques, its structure, and I just think it was a great idea. Let me know what you guys thought about Tragedy Girls down below and what your score is, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Don't forget to leave your comments down below for the Q&A and let me know that it's for the Q&A, and I'll see you guys soon. Stay spooky. Bye.